If you love cheap yarn and you love a good yarn haul, I've got you covered today because I went thrifting and I got some awesome deals and I'd love to show them to you. We were in a town a little bit of ways away and I hadn't been there for about a year. And this has my favorite thrift store in it and the craft department is usually pretty decent. So I got to check this out and I just want to show for you. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it and I'll kind of tell you a little bit about the yarn, what I paid, and what I found for retail pricing. So some of them are current yarns, some of them are discontinued yarns. If they were discontinued, I went with like kind of the average price of what I found on like eBay or Etsy. Let's jump into it. So the first yarn I want to share with you is Fantasy Naturel by Plymouth Yarns. It is 100% mercerized cotton. And there was 3 hanks of it, but there was also 2 that were caked up. And I mean, you can tell this is what it is, but there is also, whoever had this yarn previously had put the tag in there. So I have 5 of these, and this yarn is 100-gram hank. It is machine wash, mild detergent, gentle cycle. They do not recommend special wash solutions. So not 100% sure what that means, but this was $1 per hank. And the funny thing is that these caked ones were marked at $1.25. So to me, if something has like the label on it and it hasn't been like altered, this is more valuable to me, but apparently the person labeling these did not have the same opinion or remotely understand anything about yarns. What I did here was, so this was a total of $5.50 for all of these. I went with the tag that was on here because I believe this is a discontinued one, and I found them for around $8, $9. But this is, I did not pay. Someone paid $8.20 for that originally. It's pretty yarn. It's a nice, like, thick 4-weight, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think it's very pretty. Here's the gray. It does say it's made in Brazil. And then here is this burgundy colored one. Anyway, so the retail price on all 5 of these would have been $41. Next up, a little more cotton. It is Lily Sugar and Cream. So 2 in the color Terra Firma and 1, I don't see it offhand, but you can tell it's like a burgundy color. So these each had a sticker of $2.49 on them, is what whoever purchased these paid for them. And I got these each for $1.25. So $3.75 for a retail price of $7.25. There was actually a ton of Lilies and Cream. There was a ton of everything, but I just did not feel like being gluttonous. And this particular thrift store, it is cash only, so no debit cards. And so I knew I had like a certain amount of cash I had brought with, and I tried to only pick up things. I tried to leave things that were a good deal, but pick up things that I had a real strong feeling I would use. So there is that. So it's possible this next one might be one of like the biggest, or I shouldn't say biggest, but one of the nicest yarns that I got. So here is Rowan Tapestry, and I've never had Rowan yarn before. This is made in China. It is 70% wool, and it is 30% soybean fiber. They are 50-gram balls. So here is this one. And you'll see I paid 75 cents for it. It reminds me a lot of Yarn Bee's Chloe. I feel like there's a lot of yarns that are very similar in this aspect. So there was one in this green and bluish color. And then this one right here is the same, and it is got some pink and green, like purpley type. And this was $75, but then there was also this skein where the ball had like fallen apart and the label came off, but they wrapped it up and put a 50-cent sticker on it. So I did grab that. I know it looks a little worse for wear at the moment, but I think it will be just fine. So Rowan Tapestry, I paid $2 in total, and I found them online. I believe this one is also discontinued, but they kind of averaged out price-wise when I was looking at eBay and stuff to $9 a piece for a total of $27 for Rowan. Paton's classic worsted wool. This is still available. The labels have changed, and I guess this is probably the one that was, well, I guess it'd be about a similar deal as the Lilies and Cream, where it was about half price. So I paid $2.50 for this. It is the color Passion Heather, and there is definitely enough here to make a hat. It's 100 grams. Yeah, it says one ball makes a hat. It is all pure new wool, so it is a little scratchy. It has a wool feel and a wool, you know, texture and aroma to it and everything. But these pretty much average out to being about $5 online. I saw them anywhere from like $4.60 to $6, so I just went with $5. And then here is two Debbie Bliss Baby Cashmerino. So I was excited about this and picked these up. And these are kind of small. They are 50-gram balls. And I just like this type of wool. It's very soft. It's not itchy. It doesn't feel anything like this. One of these was $1 and one of these was 75% off. This one looks a little bit smaller, but it had been like kind of tied up a little, like the previous owner, you know, had taken it and wound it. So I think they thought it was a smaller little skein. So this pretty orangey, kind of orangesicle type of color, and then this darker teal. I do not have a particular project in mind, but these could also be baby hats because they do not have a wool feeling at all. They could even maybe go together. I don't know, but I paid $1.75 in total here, and I found these, I think it was on Love's Crafts, and they were $8 a piece. So $16 in total for these. I did a little tip if you are thrifting. In this one over by the purses, they had various purse handles. These were $1 a piece. I did not add those into my totals for this thrift haul. You know, $1 a piece. I had bought a purse strap online for a project, and you know, I paid like $2.50 for it, so like a tenth of the price. You know, obviously there wasn't a ton of different colors, but I like browns, and you know, a lot of bags are neutral, so I did pick these up as well to have on hand. Let me get this bag put away and I'll grab the second bag. All right, second bag. A current yarn, Feels Like Butter. So, as you know, I really like the Yarn Bees Breathe Deep. It's the same type of polyester chain spun, very, very soft. This one happens to be in black, so I thought I would just put it right in my tote of the Breathe Deep. And these are, it looked like averaged out to be about $4.50 from normal retailers. So I paid $1.50. This next one I paid $1 for. It is Red Heart Symphony, and it is a very fuzzy yarn. I know this has been discontinued for quite a while. It's the color Juniper. It's kind of a gray and green, and there's like 310 yards in this. It says it's a 4, but you know, that's mostly the halo. And the current prices, I found it online, you know, was about $4 a ball, but there used to be a website, and I never ordered from them before they went out of business, but I had seen Creative Grandma do several hauls from there. It was called Smiley's Yarn, and this was on there. And the reason I never ordered, and this sounds so dumb, because it's pretty easy to spend $50 on yarn, but you had to have a $50 minimum to order. And so I don't know, I don't know, like if it's like $30, $35, I'm in. But for some reason when it hits 50, I'm like, ooh. Anyway, the point of that rambling was that they had this yarn for $1 a ball on that website. So, you know, I kind of probably just paid market value for this, but I thought it was neat, and I could definitely like wrap this with another yarn if I wanted to do, you know, like some sort of wrap or hat or scarf or something like that. But I just thought it was a cool texture. And you know, the next two I got, I'm sorry, I have to keep looking at my notes for prices, so I do apologize that I keep looking down. But I got two I Love This cottons, and one is aubergine and the other one is purple. These I paid $1.25 each for, so for $2.50. I got two of these, and these were a little bit older, maybe a couple years older, because the retail price on these is $3.29. So I just kept these with that price. I know it's gone up, and it might be $3.99, or it might even be in the $4 range, but of course, if you hang out with me, you know that I never buy Hobby Lobby yarn unless it's a 30% off week. I still thought this was a good deal, and I like this cotton, so I thought it would be good. So anyway, retail price of $6.58 for those two. So this might be like my most like exotic yarn find, but I got this. It is Malibrego. I have never had this brand of yarn before. I've seen it hauled quite a bit. The colorway is Wales Road, and it is Malibrego Rasta. It's approximately 90 yards, and it is kettle dyed pure merino wool, hand wash, lay flat. I paid $1.50 for this, and it had a retail price of $23. So this will make a nice hat. I might do one of those 30-minute chunky beanies. I have not decided, but that's fun. Like I said, probably the most exotic of the yarns. And then I got two mystery cakes. And normally I do not like buying yarn without the tags on them, but I did like this yarn. It, you know, it is twisted. It's a couple strands, and it is colors I like. It's kind of like rusty and corally oranges. You can see I paid $1. I did kind of stick my finger in the center of the cake, and I am not finding a label in there or anything. It definitely has a wool feel to it, is a little bit scratchy, and I'm assuming they were probably hanks, and that is why they are caked up. And you know, it's more likely that it is a wool yarn if it is hanked up, but I thought these were very pretty, and so I bought those at $1 each. For like figuring of this video, I'm estimating on the low side, but I estimated them at $5 a piece, so a total of $10, and I paid $2. There were a couple of notions that I picked up as well. So at this particular thrift store, crochet hooks, and can somebody tell me why at thrift stores there's always hundreds of knitting needles and there's hardly ever any crochet hooks? I don't know. But the crochet hooks are 25, yes, they're 25 cents a piece, but if you buy two, it's 2 for 25. Here was this boy hook. It is a J10. It is a 5.75 millimeter. And like I said, I paid 12.5 cents for this, and I am estimating the price at $3. And then I'm pretty pleased with this. I've never actually owned one of these. It is much smaller than I am used to using, but it is a D hook, 3.25 millimeter, but it is a clover. So I am excited. Like I said, I've never actually used one of these. I paid 12.5 cents, and online they were selling for $8. There was this package of Wright's crochet markers. I paid 25 cents for right here. I could not find any of these. They're kind of cute little heart shapes. I could not find any of these online. So I just estimated with a little pack of Yarnology ones that I found that were $1.50, just for the same kind of like plastic clip. $1.50 retail value. And then I haven't ever seen these in person before, but they are Wright's Boy, so that must actually be the same company. Jumbo yarn sleeves. So there was this bag here with 3 of them in it, and then this package that has not been opened, jumbo yarn sleeves. So I will get these out, but I paid $1.25 for this. Here's what the package looks like. You know, it's just like a little bit of netting that you put around like your red heart skeins. So you can kind of see this one must maybe have been used, so it's a little more stretched out. And then this is what it is. Or maybe it's for a smaller skein. Yeah, it's probably for a smaller skein. So I will have to try these out, but for 25 cents, it was definitely worth trying it. So there'd be 2 packages in here. They retailed at $4.50 each on Walmart. It was discontinued, but Walmart still had the listing. So $9 in total for the yarn sleeves. I do not think there is any shame whatsoever in thrifting for yarn. You know, think about the person that had all that yarn and maybe for whatever reason they can no longer knit or crochet, or, you know, maybe someone passed away and their family doesn't understand the value of it and, you know, just donates it all. I do have a couple rules that I use, and I'm not embarrassed to do this, but while I am looking through the yarns, this particular thrift store has bins. So you kind of have to get down on the floor and dig. But my general rule of thumb is I pick it up and I look at it, and I look obviously at the condition of it to see if it's still in good condition or if it's dirty. I touch it to make sure it doesn't feel like there's any sticky residues or anything. Something to keep in mind, feel the yarn, and then I am not embarrassed. I will smell the yarn in the store before purchasing it, because that is something where sometimes I have gotten home if I've been in a hurry or whatever, and then I don't want to mess with using it if it's got an odd smell. So definitely those things to check out. But I don't think there's anything wrong with thrifting yarn. Let me know if you've done it, what like your best score ever was. I know I always enjoy like Kim from Affordably Crafty, seeing a lot of her thrift hauls. And there's quite a few other yarn YouTubers that do that as well. But if you were following along and you're kind of wanting to know, I totaled up what I spent on this particular thing, and it was $24.75 for those 2 bags. And the retail value was $165.83. So I had a savings of $141.08. So I think that's pretty good. Basically spending $25 and getting $165 worth. Thank you so much for letting me share this thrifted yarn haul. I appreciate it. I appreciate having friends that I can get excited about yarn and yarn bargains with. So I do appreciate you guys. As always, thank you for talking yarn with me. Bye.